was clicking the power or anything, was it?
Oh, that could
Could
be.
be.
We'll blame it on you.
That's all right. I can handle it.
All right.
Now we're good.
Oh, that ain't it.
Yeah, it is.
Why is it not right in my head?
I don't know. Okay, hit play,
Oh my God, shoot me down.
right? Was clicking the power or anything, was it?
Okay. Hello and welcome, everybody. Might be short and sweet tonight. Ah, So, all right. Hello, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube over there, we're trying to get things up and moving, so everything's making us sign back in. So, um, first of all, thank you everybody for your grace for last week while we were gone. It just was one of those weeks, and thank you for all the love and prayers for our Maddox and Papa Bill. Um, Little update on both of them. Maddox had some tests done and everything, and he is um, gonna kind of be stuck to an adult for a while. He did show some signs of epilepsy and his brain scan and stuff. So, um, say a prayer for him, and we're gonna just keep walking this out. We're gonna pray the good Lord's gonna heal him and get him back into. He's my little keto boy, so we're gonna get him back into ketosis and get him going. So it's just gonna be wasn't what we expected for the summer, but he's a trooper, so he's chugging along and trying to figure out how we're gonna go with it. His mom and dad are trying to figure out meds, if they're going to do meds. They don't want to do meds. So we're going to try to see if getting him right back in keto good and hard and stay there. So hopefully we can. Maddox is 12. So be able to, he's my grandson. It's my son's, he's the baby of the family. So he's the one, he's our little sweetheart. He's our little, he's the boy in all of a whole family of estrogen. So he's just a sweetheart. But so it was just such a shock. It was the first seizure he ever had. So I apologize for being gone, but thank you for all the love and grace. We'll keep praying for him as he gets better. And you want to update
And
your
then
dad?
curveball number two, my dad,
Great.
85 years old. He had a mild stroke last week, and his left carotid artery is 100% blocked. He hasn't lost anything. Um, when the first episode happened, he did lose his speech and the function of his right arm for just a moment. But it was enough to get his attention. They got him to the hospital, did all kinds of tests, and they have decided not to do anything. They feel that his body is rerouting the blood around in a sufficient enough manner that at some point it just happened to show symptoms of a stroke. So they're not going to do anything. They're just going to say, okay. So that was a blessing. I'm taking it as a blessing. That way I get to spend every opportunity I can with my dad. So, but he's okay with it. He's out the next day. I think he was riding his exercise bike, and he was after he got out of the hospital, he had to mow the yard, and that he just keeps going doing his things with a little bit more precaution now. So, but yeah, we're praying for him, and hopefully we get to spend some more time with him too.
So,
But thank you for all your love and prayers.
yes, thank you. So, all right, we are going to check in and get this party started. Our check-in this week, again, in emotional roller coaster for the last week and a half. My back's been out, so I'm struggling with a little bit of pain and having to take some Advil and Flexerol to keep the back moving. So I'm struggling a little bit pain-wise. So my glucose was up a little bit, but we are getting tightened back in. Of I'm trying to close that eating window earlier, and I'm trying to get back to the one meal a day, closing that eating window earlier. We've been eating pretty much the same thing all week. We've been doing eggs and bacon or eggs and pork belly. So we've just been keeping it
Egg
simple.
sardines.
Eggs and sardines or mackerel. So we are keeping it stupid simple this week. Just trying to shoot some cleanup from the week with the kids and being on the road and everything else. So we're there. I started taking my numbers, but nothing to write home about yet on everything. But we're gonna start getting back at tracking, getting back on the bandwagon so we can get kind of a summer rhythm going. And we're doing okay. So Lance is ready to get some boating season in and get some dopamine going.
Oh,
So
I need some bad.
so it's nice if we can get the boat out in the evenings because that is kind of our dopamine. It takes us out of the kitchen, out of the house, and we go on the boat, just take our drinks on with us so we can float all night, watch the sunset, and we're not tempted to eat anything because we don't put anything on the boat with us to eat. And it does help us get into the rhythm of the summer and not munch all night or not want to sit around and graze or anything like that. So, getting that dopamine by going out on the boat and watching a sunset is just a good date night for us. It's a good way to just unplug and go spend some time away from everything. And it's also giving us our dopamine. So, it's just a good thing for that. So, there you
One
go.
good thing, we got the bone broth done last night.
Yes.
Got that all packed up and in the freezer. I actually pulled one out today for my lunch break. Usually I come home from lunch from work to kiss the wife and used to let the dog out and get my coffee. So I substituted today. I did not have the afternoon coffee. I went ahead and grabbed bone broth, and I had that this afternoon, and it actually worked really well for me. So we may do that a couple times during the week here. So, but that's what I'm gonna try to come down off the coffee a little bit, get my caffeine rein back in, and see if I can't get down to where I was.
Ketones and caffeine is just an energy ball for Lance. So it's good. But all right, guys, come on in and check in. Diana, come and tell us how you're doing.
I'm good. Excuse me. Um, Doing good. Just trying to get my glucose down from getting steroid shots. But
Oh,
still was, I think 117 at 8:30 this morning. I hadn't eaten anything yet, so still working on that. But I probably didn't help it this evening. But this was one of my every few days I throw something on the grill, and man, it just smells so good tonight. I had some. So I mean, it was meat, but you know, eating it this time of night is never good for me. So, but
but that's good though that you realize that. I mean, those are those little key moments that you need to realize, even though it is the right stuff, it's at the wrong time. So that's huge.
yeah, it doesn't matter. The only thing that I can get by with this late is fat. That doesn't seem to affect anything too much, but
Yeah.
couldn't resist the smell of that meat coming off the grill.
Oh,
So
absolutely not.
as strong as
Absolutely
I thought,
not.
oh no, I can do this. Yeah, and
I'm
actually a lot of times I do, but not tonight. and
I'm
it
actually
ended
waiting.
up being a lot later than what I wanted it to be when I put it on there. So,
When we were doing some cleaning out downstairs in the garage, I noticed that we had a beef brisket in the freezer. So
ooh.
I can't wait to throw that on the smoker. I've been watching videos on that, and it's like,
We
yes.
finally got the deck all put back together, so we got the smoker out there and everything. We did a big old pork butt again over the weekend, and it is
It's
so nice.
stupid
It's
easy.
stupid easy, and it is so nice to cook that much meat at one time, and it's done. I mean, it's just done and over. So I'm loving. I mean, everybody, kind of goes into how hard this is and how do you do this all the time and stuff. And I'm telling you, this is the easiest stuff to do. Once you're down to like one meal a day, we're in the not in the kitchen all night. It is so nice to have meat cooked up ahead. We got a big old bowl of eggs in there. And I'm telling you, you can throw supper together and it's over with in 15 minutes. And it is so much better and nice, especially for the summer now that we can actually just enjoy time and do things.
I
So
mean,
take
I don't
advantage of it.
I don't know if you all have ever tried the pellet smoker thing. I don't know who has and who hasn't. This is our first one.
First
Okay,
one.
this is our first one. We got it on Marketplace and we found a stupid deal on it. It was really, really cheap. And we went ahead and got it. And this is the easiest time I've ever had cooking meat. I mean, we turned it on at 10 o'clock at night, left it cook all night, smoke all night, came back and then wrapped it in the morning, let it cook a little bit longer, and then rested it. Oh my goodness. I mean, it was so easy though. So,
So easy and perfect. And it's just nice to have that much meat at one time. We were able to go with family and feed the family and everything and not have to hit, oh my gosh, what are we going to feed everybody? It was like, we got 15 pounds of meat right here.
oh
We're
yeah.
good. So it worked out nice. So we are going to have some videos for that, but we highly recommend
So
it if you do
I
a
know what you're
smoker if
talking.
you have it.
I know what you're talking about, Diana. Meat on the grill. That's
Oh,
hard
and
to pass up.
I mean, just throw a piece of meat on the stove or something. I can resist that, but no, you put some meat on the grill with that smoke flavor. Like, nope.
No, I don't know about how you guys, the whole outside, as soon as you open a back door, all it just smells the smoker though.
It's good.
Yep.
Can
I
you
don't want it my house smelling like that.
can you guys describe how do you portion out the meat? Because like you say, you smelling that type of meat and you just want to eat to your heart's content. So I know you put it in the chronometer, you're gonna weigh it, and of course you're gonna spread it out. Like say you cook it in bulk.
Yep.
Right. And then we kind of spread it out. But I mean, yes and no. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. But you start once you've been rolling for a while, you kind of know your portion and you're listening to your body, you're listening to that leptin and ghrelin work. And at some point your body says, okay, that's enough. And your taste buds say, oh no, I want more. That's usually we can get by with that. It's like, okay, that's enough. I mean, and she's my check. She will say, okay, honey, that's been a pound and a half meat. You should stop. So
Check on that.
yeah. But no, normally it's gotten a lot easier. When we first started, she couldn't keep me fed with meat because it was gone. There was no extra left. So
That was where, and that's where it's hard. And you have to be able to navigate through that because when we first started, I like to cook once and eat 2 or 3 or 4 times. So I love that. Lance has the theory of if you cook once, you
Time to
eat
eat.
till it's gone. So we've had to learn to do that. So kind of to talk about portioning it out. At the beginning, I did have to put things in baggies and separate it and portion it out. Now we've got a bowl that we pretty much know how much meat we eat in that bowl. We use the
And we
same
can-
dishes over and over.
and we can tell by what's on our plate. I mean, and it's gotten to be it's more of mind work over your taste buds. I mean, it really is because your body will cut out and say it has enough, and then your mind takes over. That's all that it is.
But but at the beginning, weigh it out, portion it out, whatever you need to do to keep you in those boundaries of that chronometer at the beginning, especially.
Absolutely.
And ghrelin and leptin and ghrelin will change because, like I said, when we first started, I mean, the man could eat a 5 pound roast by himself.
I 24-ounce ribeyes were nothing. I mean, just gone.
And that same amount of meat now, as leptin and ghrelin kick in,
I
that
can't
same
even-
one steak would feed us for 2 or 3 nights now.
Now it takes 2 times to eat that steak. So I mean, it's
It's a process
it is.
as you get more fat adapted and as you get that. But yeah, cooking a big old pork, but we might have to start rationing it a little bit because sometimes it goes a little fast. So,
We got our first Traeger
Oh.
back in 2017, I think.
oh, nice. And you
Yeah.
got some experience.
Yeah. And so the move from Kansas to Kentucky, we buy everything from Costco. And so the wheels on the Traeger, they put something heavy on the Traeger and it bent the
Broke the wheels.
Yeah. So we took it back to Costco. They took it back.
Nice.
And we bought a new one. So I'm christening the new one this weekend. So
Awesome. What do you
so I
cook?
have to go through my startup and make sure the auger and everything is working right. And so yeah, so it is it's ready to hold a lot. So my whole premise is if you're gonna go, because it takes a minute to get it started.
Yep.
So if you're gonna get it started, use
Was
it.
it was it
So,
like an 850?
it is an 850 if I'm not mistaken. So the
Yeah.
big barrel,
Yeah.
I can get 100 chicken wings on that thing.
Jeez.
Nice.
That's the one
and so-
FedEx Steve has.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
You-
so we'll buy a bunch of chicken wings and I'll smoke those, for 3-4 hours and then shift from the chicken wings to the chicken. Tammie and I talked about spatchcock chicken. That's
Yep.
my
Ooh.
favorite. So we have guests coming this weekend. So I have a pork butt that's going on probably tomorrow night into Friday. And then the pork butt will come off and the ribs will go on. And
We're taking a
I was gonna say we need road trip.
and the ribs, I do 3-2-1.
Oh, okay.
And so 3-2-1, 3 hours, uncovered, 2 hours covered, and then 1 hour covered sauce.
Yeah.
Our sauce is mustard based. So I take spicy brown mustard and apple cider vinegar. That's my sauce.
Nice.
Nice,
And
nice.
I don't tell people that that's what it is. So, because you go mustard based and they go,
I
ew,
don't like mustard.
right? And
All
so,
cook off.
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. And so then, right as those will come off, then I'll crank it up to 450 and I'll spatchcock the chickens. And I'll do all of that on Friday. Our guests are coming on Saturday, but I'll do all that on Friday. And I use a compound butter for my chicken.
Ooh.
And so I have the chile lime Redmonds. So
Yes.
That's good.
so I'll use that and probably add some smoked paprika in there into the butter. So I compound the butter. I'll take a pound of butter, let it rest, mash all the seasoning into it, and then lift the skin of the chickens and put the butter under the skin on the breast and in the thigh area, and then put that on for 450 until it's done. That usually takes about, well, I don't know on this grill because I haven't used it yet, but on my last grill, which was the one right below this one, it would take about 45 minutes for those. So
Oh,
we
wow.
do 2 of those.
Very-
And then I was sharing with Tammie that I saved my backbone on my spatchcock chicken. I throw that on the grill as well, and then that goes in the bone broth.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
so that's the
We're all gonna
plan.
be at your house on Saturday. So
Yeah.
And we have chicken
Oh,
feet.
yeah, you're not too far from me.
Yeah, chicken feet are in the freezer. So I think
Good.
was it this group that I mentioned I think it was last week's group. We mentioned was that you, Diana, that we were talking about? Where are
Yeah,
you?
the David's
Yeah, David's Pasture. So we ordered from them because we used to have them deliver when we were in Kansas City. So now that we're in Kentucky, they drop ship through UPS.
Oh,
So
nice.
pastured pork, grass-fed beef, pastured chickens. And so we got chicken feet from them for our bone broth. I haven't done that. I need some bones because we've been doing chicken breast wrapped in bacon as our meat for the last 2, 3 weeks. So that's why Keith is a little nervous because we've been doing chicken breast wrapped in bacon, and now we're about to branch into new meat for keto.
I have my numbers right.
Right. He was like, you gonna mess up my numbers.
don't mess up
No,
those numbers.
just keep putting them in, man.
So
One thing with all that chicken that you got cooking, though, save all those chicken legs, save all those
Yes,
chicken
yes,
feet,
yes,
throw
yes.
them all in. So
yeah,
those will
that's
be
part of why we're having
Right.
so because we'll have all those bones
Yeah.
that can go in the broth. So
Yep.
so that's the plan. But if it goes on, I got a whole conveyor belt of meat, and I
Ready
just
to go.
yeah, I run half a bag of pellets. So and we roll with it. So
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
And you know what? I love that you are learning to socialize and having company come in. Everybody that says, "Oh my gosh, I got family coming." It's like you do not have to get derailed because family's coming.
Right.
You know, let them bring a side dish if they want something special. Let them,
Yeah.
let them help with that. But the base stuff is so easy. It's, keep the meat, get a cheese ball, get, a charcuterie
Charcuterie board.
board, and and have that ready in a cheese plate or whatever, and it's like it is so easy to do a cookout. This is not difficult, so I love that you're prepped and ready and you've got this. So
yeah.
send us pictures and post pictures over in the group of everything so we can see
Okay.
everything you're doing. I love it.
We're only eating because we don't want to look
Weird.
like we're trying to poison them.
Yeah.
Like,
Big plate and eat nothing.
'cause
right?
we've already eaten,
Right.
right?
Right.
But we're like,
It's actually a question because they're coming at 4. We're usually done eating by then. So I'm thinking that we have our buttered coffee in the morning and then we just don't eat anything else until 4. Is that?
That's good.
You can do it that way, or if it's one night, put eat your big meal during the day, maybe have a little bit with them so they don't feel awkward, or if they're family and not, I
They're
don't know.
not. They're new friends from church. We're trying to, build
Yeah,
community. So
That
it might be awkward to sit down at the table and they eat and you don't. So
right.
I
just want to hold
I
on
was
to
just
eat
gonna
dinner
say,
with them.
have your buttered
Just
coffee like at noon, and
okay.
then roll into the
Okay.
Shoot clean up the next
Close your
day.
close your eating window the opposite way.
Got it. Okay. So start at noon and then do noon to 5 because that's pretty
Yeah.
much what it'll
Yeah,
be.
I mean that you
Okay.
get.
Shoot clean up the next day. Get up the next morning, eat a good fatty breakfast, get that second meal in at lunchtime, and be done and let it clean up. You got
Okay.
Whole lot of
And,
it.
I mean, we're not planning on the only carbs that we plan is like a tablespoon of collard greens.
I love it.
We're not,
And
I'm making macaroni and cheese for them because I know they like it. They've talked about, but we're not tempted. And the cheese sauce, it's a 5 cheese sauce. So,
oh,
it's awesome.
It's
And
true.
so we will just have a little bit that we dump on our meat, and
Yep.
that'll, we'll make sure our fat is high for us. So, and Tammie helped me walk through because I was struggling with dessert. I mean, I love to entertain and food, I'm really good at it. And in terms of preparing meal prep and all these things. So the dessert is a cheesecake with goat cheese and cream cheese and eggs and no sweetener.
oh,
And
nice.
so I will bake them in the little tiny mason jars so we can freeze whatever we don't use. And then they will have agave nectar
She's hungry.
to pour on their cheesecake to sweeten it. And we will use the vanilla stevia that Amazon is going to deliver in a day or so.
Perfect.
But this is what I do my cheesecakes in.
Excellent.
And
Perfect.
so it's portion controlled for us.
Yep.
You can send them home with some if they want, along with the bottle of agave.
Right? Take it all home.
We're not tempted by agave. We're not tempted by elbow macaroni. So I'm okay because I mean we've been low carb thinking we were keto for years.
All right.
So, we're used to our kids, they're like, but our daughter and I make the macaroni and cheese together. And
Right.
the original plan was to put ours over cauliflower. And Tammie's like, don't waste the carbs.
It's not worth it. Not
Yeah,
worth it.
no.
Put that
No,
cheese
not
sauce
worth
over
it.
a
Yeah.
blue and
So
you'll be fine.
we'll just have a nice little bowl of the cheese sauce that we'll do our thing with and, have a little bit of and I braise my collard greens. I don't boil them. I braise them. So they'll have high fat, bacon. I'll use a little bit of red onion just for some, texture. But that's a dish I do well that
Sounds
Oh,
awful
man.
delicious.
I know. I'm so excited. So
And it's
yeah.
and you've done really well planning this all out. It's awesome. And take the moment to enjoy the people that you've also brought over. And if
Yes.
it means, planning your meal to have with them, then that would be the way to plan that. I mean, you've put this much effort into it. I would plan on eating with them and just using portion control at that time, but that way you can socialize more with the people that you brought there.
Yeah.
So I mean,
What a blessing.
that is
that's
awesome.
beautiful. I
Yes.
mean,
Really, really excited.
you're
So-
making us sound bad over here because
Oh.
we don't get that. We don't get that fancy here. When we say we keep it simple, it's throw the meat on the grill, throw the meat on my plate, and we're good.
I'm a Southern belle.
I
There you
love it.
go.
I pull out the fine china. I drink my water out of a crystal glass.
I
you know?
seen
I
you.
love
I
it.
seen
Yeah.
that when
I
you're
love
Yeah,
it.
I'm about to
Yeah.
fill it with iced tea right now, but funny story. We're a blended family, so our kids live with our ex-wife, or they did when they were young. Now they're adults, and then they come to us, and so I had to teach them how we do things, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And so, we've been together as a family 8, 10 years at this point, and we have people coming over for Christmas and they love it when we entertain. And so we had the kids table. And so we put the kids table up and it was a Christmas celebration. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought Christmas paper plates. So I give the Christmas paper plates to our daughter and ask her to go set the table, set the kids' table. It has a tablecloth, linen tablecloth, and I give her this pack of paper plates, and she's like, Miss Lisa, I can't believe you want us to eat off a paper plate. And I'm like, whoa. And she is just like, you guys get the china and we have to eat off paper plates.
Poor
And I'm
baby.
like, oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
child abuse.
So I'm like, okay, so you get grandma's china, but if they break it, I'm breaking you. Okay. So just understand. And so we walked through and she's like, what's this number? We talked about how the china is, the patterns are numbered and all this
Yep.
stuff. Is this expensive? I'm like, well, let's find out. And so she sees the value of the plates and everything, and she's freaking out a little bit.
We'll
But
go
I'm
with
like,
those paper plates not looking so bad, right?
she got through it. We put the china on the table and she worked with the 2 and the 5-year-old.
She got on those
And
kids. She's like,
she was like,
don't you touch that plate.
But that's awesome though. What a teaching moment
yeah,
inside
for
of
sure.
that one.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? She's
Yep.
teaching them and it's
Yep.
coming from the experience.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is too
So
cool.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
though. We have a blended family too, so we understand that.
Yes.
Yes. So
We're very
Um,
blessed.
so we have our friends coming on Saturday, and then next week we're traveling. So we won't be on the Wednesday call next week. We'll be on the Tuesday call, but not the Wednesday call. And we have another dinner because he's working, and so we'll meet him after dinner. So Lance, I think you answered my question already because that meal is at 7.
Okay.
And so is that again, we start our eating window 2.
Two trains of thought there. That's a real late eating window. So you may want to eat light. You may want to have a heavier meal earlier in the day.
Okay.
That way you hit your macros the way you need to. You don't want to end up at the evening meal at 7, 8 o'clock saying, "Oh no, I'm about 100 grams of fat short," because it's really late to put that much on your stomach.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I would probably hit a good fatty meal, nothing
Early
but
and-
straight fat early.
Okay.
Get your fats and proteins in early, and then when you do a meal that late,
So
if there's no option, then just make it a hoity-toity meal plate.
well, we're going to Longhorn. So, do we just get a Caesar salad and throw some shrimp on it or
Yeah, do
something simple and light.
something like that, or yeah, or just an appetizer, a salad and an appetizer. I know they got good
oh, their wings are awesome. So we could do a salad and wings.
salad
Okay.
and wings. They got the Red Rock. Was it Red Rock shrimp there?
Can we eat that though? Though aren't those breaded? We usually just get the wings.
The ones that aren't breaded.
There's ones on the
Oh,
skewer
oh, oh.
that's not breaded.
There's
so-
ones
Got
on
it.
the skewer that come on rice, but you just don't eat the rice.
Understood. Okay. All right. But we should be so, and we point everything out in chronometer ahead of time, but get the bulk of the fat, but
Get your
before
fat and protein
3.
in early.
Early. That's
Okay.
what I would do.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. And just know that we'll likely be over on our carbs because of the lettuce in the salad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
and then just
but
plan on shooting cleanup the next day.
and
Understood.
that's the correct thing to do. You're planning it
Mhm.
instead of winging it. You don't want to wing it. Planning it is a lot better. So going in, hey, we gotta do this.
Okay. And honestly, this trip is I have to think through this trip because when we traveled before, we were at my mom's house. So I had a full kitchen. I had, we drove. So, I literally went home with 5 dozen eggs. So I can't do that this time because we're flying. So, and we don't have a full kitchen. So I've sort of think through that just a little bit.
Bacon in a bag works really well.
Bacon in a bag.
Makes it on the plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So prep as much as I can
Yep.
ahead of time and just take it on ice with us and keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, as
Okay.
much as you can, as much as they will allow. I mean, bacon
Right.
just do the bacon in the a little Ziploc bag, and you don't
Mhm.
have to ice it or nothing. Just
That's true.
it's like jerky. So
That's true. Okay.
and you really on something like that, you really pick and choose. So
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice job.
Yes.
Yeah. Keith is gonna eat sardines, so he's fine. I just have to find food for
So,
me.
so I'm eating for lunch. I'm eating sardines
Nice.
7 days a week.
Okay.
Perfect.
And
Nice.
Put,
what's your stuff? Yeah.
I put sour cream, the mayonnaise, and
Zoo.
it's like Zoog. It's well, I pointed out, so it's like a spicy cilantro.
Yeah,
Like,
it's cilantro, cumin, olive oil.
Wow.
Yeah, Trader Joe's carries it. So
Okay.
if he does 1 tablespoon, and I think that's like 1 carb for 1 tablespoon or something like that. So he chooses that carb.
Nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
my regular numbers for the day, the carb is if I go over 9.4, I'm too high.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Good
That's
for you.
awesome.
Once you told me get away from 20,
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, okay, let's go to 10. And then I said, okay, I was at 8.2 and I've been 9.4 is where I've been staying. So
Well, and the other thing that we noticed today, and I did this right on Keith's chronometer, but I missed it on mine. I was just using generic salted butter. And the generic salted butter that I was using in chronometer had carbs in it, but we use the Kirkland Signature grass-fed butter, salted butter, and it has nothing. So I was adding carbs to my
Well, it didn't have
chronometer
to be.
when I didn't even eat them. So
Yeah.
but again, it just goes to, taking the time to look for the actual name of the product, scanning the barcode, whatever, so that you are counting what you're really eating and not what you think you're eating. Because it's not
Correct.
generic butter, it's Kirkland
Yes.
Signature grass-fed butter.
I mean, we
So,
just recently ran into something like that too because I grabbed a can of sardines and I looked it up and it, it was backwards on my fat to protein ratio. The fats were actually lower and the
wow.
protein was higher. And then I grabbed a different can of sardines and it flipped it a little bit better. So also watch the kind of sardines, and I get mine in water, so mine's a little bit lower on the fat count because I add my fat to it
I see.
instead of taking their quote unquote oil with
Yeah.
it. So I'd rather have that, but
We get them from Costco and they're in olive oil. And
yeah,
so the only ingredients are sardines and olive oil. So those are we've done, and Keith tried the smoked ones. He didn't like those.
no, I
So,
don't like those as well either.
Mm.
so
so Tammie, you mentioned we started removing the MCT oil.
and replacing it with butter.
How's
So
it working?
So
How-
you can see that if your body is making the ketones on its own versus, I didn't know the MCT was like
a
actually like
ketone
BHB.
maker, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So,
So the other question I have is, why are we checking ketones first thing in the morning instead of later in the day? I felt the prompting of the Holy Spirit yesterday to check my glucose and ketones. It was probably 6 o'clock, somewhere in there. And I had 1.3 ketones and my glucose was like 88. But first thing in the morning, I'm high. And
Mhm.
so why do we check first thing in the
Good
morning?
question. So what that is your metabolic health is what we're truly looking at. That
Okay.
is what we're really working on. And the best time to do that is the best precursor of what your metabolic health really is that first waking one. As soon as you wake up and start moving and life kicks in and stress kicks in and all the things start happening, that makes that number more volatile. And it's
Okay.
just noise that comes in and changes all the variables. So if we do it first thing in the morning, before the cortisol hits, before all the stuff, before the stressors of life, before, all the things are happening in life, that is the one that's going to say, and that tells you how much your liver cleans out through the night. So
I
as
see.
you close your eating window earlier and your liver has all that time to start cleaning out by the next morning, that's telling you, first of all, it's letting that liver clean out.
Mhm.
It's letting you use all of that. Second of all, it's giving you that time to do all of that and letting
Okay.
that happen. But when you wake up the first thing in the morning, that's where we want to see, okay, what did your body do while it was resting because we don't want it processing a lot of food and ketones and everything like that while you're sleeping. We want it to learn to rest.
Okay.
And when you wake up in the morning, then that's gonna be the navigator
Okay.
of where
My
you're taking your food.
challenge, and it's not a challenge, I just need to wrap my brain around what it is, but I'm the keeper of the alarm. And so Keith gets up about 30 minutes before me. So the alarm goes off. I wake him up. Habit, since I'm looking at my phone to turn the alarm off, I look at my glucose level and then I go back to sleep for 30 to 45 minutes. And by the time I get up, it's up 10 to 25 points.
You
And
know
I'm
why?
mad because
You know why?
I missed it.
You know why?
Why?
Because your brain kicked in. Your brain kicked in and you're not even realizing it. And you're already, I could tell right now, you're a planner and you've already started your plan for the day when that alarm went off. And even though you're asleep, you're still planning. And I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. And your glucose goes, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Do you live here?
No, sir, I do not.
Nobody lives with me.
That's what happens though. I mean, if you don't,
Dang it.
the best thing you could probably do is when that alarm goes off,
Check
get
it.
up, check it, and then get up.
Because the other thing, you're not getting a restful sleep for that other half hour.
Right.
But that get up and get after it because
You're already awake.
you're already awake, even though you
Okay.
think you're sleeping. But that's what happens. And the
Okay.
reason why we take it first thing off is we try to do it before we actually really wake up because that means we start our day. Our mind already starts going, our body already starts getting hyped up for the day, and you're adding external factors to your number that you're not even aware of.
Now,
Right.
if you do get in the afternoon and you get a feeling from the Holy Spirit, or sometimes you'll get a jittery feeling, or hey, I just got really good energy. Let's see what's going on. Or I'm not feeling really good. What's going on? And you will check it in the afternoon just for curiosity's sake, because you will learn what those feelings feel like.
Totally
I know,
fine.
and I will tell you when mine get over like 3, if I get anywhere 2.5 to 3 up of ketones, I start getting a jittery feeling. Like I get a who I got this, and I want to know what that is because I confuse it sometimes with a low glucose. What I
Oh.
used to feel like when I get a low glucose, but it'll kick in then, and then I get that burst of energy, and it's just that reassurance of I'll go check it just to see, but it's a curiosity thing so that you can learn what that feels like when ketones are nice and high. When those ketones start soaring, like at the end of a good fast and things like that, and those ketones start soaring, sometimes you'll check 2, 3, 4 times a day just because oh my gosh, what is going on? I want to see how high they're getting. And it's an encouragement, it gives you that little bit of dopamine of knowing you're doing something good and right for your body. So it's just different ways to look at it. But that first morning one is the one that navigates the journey. That drboz ratio first thing in the morning is what's going to help you navigate. But the other ones are a good curiosity killer when something is different or something is off or whatever. So don't be afraid to do
I was
it.
gonna say, don't be afraid to do it. That's
Just
basically
know
what
the
she's
one
saying.
that matters is that first one in the morning.
Your best
Okay.
indicator of where you're at is definitely the first one.
Understood. Thank you.
So I have one.
Get some tea.
For the last week, I've been waking up in the morning with cotton mouth. So I'm thinking that means add more salt.
More salt and more water, you're probably dehydrated.
Yep, you're probably dehydrated.
So
I'm drinking water, salt water like crazy. I feel like I got an IV in there, so
Yes.
not enough.
Yes.
yep.
Yeah.
But that's
And
part of that transition.
yep, exactly. And you also may want to try a different brand of salt. We recommend Redmond's, but we also recommend Baja Gold.
We're
And
doing Baja, and we
so
just
you
bought
do
Redmond, so I should just switch it up. Switch
try
back.
try switching.
Both.
Use I would say both of them are very good. So don't you're
Mhm.
picking between, the Cadillac and the Lincoln. But try them because they may fit a different circumstance inside your body. You might be There's a lot of minerals in Redmonds, but there are also a lot of minerals in Baja. And I noticed that sometimes I need some Baja, but also most of the time I need Redmonds. So there's a balance there that you may not be getting all your minerals that you need if you're only going one source. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
But I would try
Don't
it.
be afraid to change it up.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Especially if you're just using those two. Don't be afraid to swap it out with those two. You'll get you'll get some
I
different.
find Baja Gold's probably better in water. And
Yeah,
then
I do it in water.
Redmond's better on food, but we have basically Redmond's right now, so I do Redmond's in water
All right.
Change it up either way.
and coffee.
Now, see, I don't like the salt in my water, but I salt the daylights out of my
Oh
food.
my goodness, she can salt food.
I like my meat salty.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Phew.
well, good job, guys. I just want to say kudos to both of you, first of all, for all the planning, all the prepping, thinking it through. And I love that you're using chronometer. You're using the tools to teach yourself about your body. That is how you're going to learn to navigate this as a lifestyle forever. Instead of this isn't just for a week or two or three or four. This is how you're going to live this as a lifestyle. And
And it's awesome
it
that you're
gets
doing
easier.
it together.
Yes.
But I
Kudos.
like to say I got my first encouragement from not Tammie, Kevin.
There you go. Not Timmy Kevin.
Yeah, so
He was subbing for Tammie.
yes.
Yep.
And had he logged in as Tammie, and I'm like,
It's not
dude,
Tammy.
you don't look like Tammie. He was like, I'm not Tammie. So we just started calling him not Tammie because that's
Not
what he said
Tammy.
his name was. He said, I'm not Tammie.
Nice.
So that's what we call him. Hi, not Tammie.
He's our Kev. Come on in, Kev. Tell us everybody how you're doing.
That's just absolutely great conversation, great learning. I do miss barbecuing. I have a question before I say anything though. Who out there knows? I'm lazy about hard-boiled eggs. What's the easiest way to make the hard-boiled eggs?
10 minutes in hot water.
Then what?
Put them in a bowl in a
Put it in a
fridge.
bowl.
Throw
In
in
fridge.
some baking soda at the end of your 10 minutes, and that'll help them peel better.
That's what I'm looking for.
That's what you're
That's the
looking for.
pain in the ass
Yep.
part.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Do
do
you
it.
have an Instapot?
Uh-oh.
You want eggs that the shells absolutely fall off of? That's 5 minutes in the Instapot. Just put like a cup of water in there and however many.
Do you
set it for
cover them
5
with
minutes.
water or just in the bottom of the pan?
Yeah, just put like a cup of water in there and 5 minutes. And I mean the shells literally just fall off.
Let's
All right.
pretend that I have enough kitchen appliances and I'm not interested in an Instapot.
Baking soda is your friend.
That
That
and,
works too.
that and I've noticed I've peeled them warm before under cold water.
Yep.
I'll run cold
That
water and peel it, yeah, while the egg is a little warm.
Yep.
I like
All
doing a
right.
bunch of them at a time and just putting them in the bowl in the fridge too. And it seems like once they sit in the fridge, it pulls, when they shrink up getting cold, it pulls it away from the shell, so they peel.
Are you having trouble peeling yours, Tammy? It seems like because I
You
know
put
I'm
salt
getting
in,
So here's the other thing about I did some research on this many years ago because I cannot stand to lose the egg white to the shell.
right,
So,
right.
and what I found was older eggs boil better. So don't take your fresh carton of eggs and boil them. You take your older carton of eggs and boil them. I don't know why, but it does make a difference. So I use a big pot, stock pot. I put
Yeah.
water in, several quarts of water. I pour in a boatload of salt and I put the eggs in at the start of the boil. I don't wait until the water is boiling. Bring it up to boil, that 10 minutes that Lance just talked about. And I turn the pot off, dump in about a quarter of a cup of baking soda, cover it, and they slide right off.
nice.
And that's
Okay,
how I
so you
boil
throw
my
the
eggs.
baking soda in, you
At
cover
the
them, and then
end,
what do you
right,
do?
right.
And then what?
Leave them until you're ready to, I leave them at least 10, 15 minutes and then
In the hot water.
just leave them. Let the water cool down. The water's off at that point, and you're gonna
See,
get a
now
little
that's what I'm
bit
used to
of
doing.
you're gonna
I'm
get
just
a little
having
bit
trouble with the
of a
daggone
volcanic
shell.
explosion there, so don't make your pot super hot with water. That baking soda is gonna react
Uh-huh.
salt. And so you're gonna get some fizz. Once that fizz, it's like poof, it's gone. Cover the pot and just let it sit for a couple minutes. And when you're ready to peel your eggs, and they peel right off.
Hmm.
There you go.
So
I believe all you guys.
older
I've just been having
eggs,
trouble.
yeah, older eggs. So the ones that you bought last week as opposed to the ones you bought this week. Add your baking soda at the very end. Cover the pot. Let them cool.
Reminds me when you
Keep moving.
All right.
Egg
So
rolls.
cooking lesson complete. Hopefully it'll work. I'm in the middle of a 72-hour fast. I'm at about hour
Kudos.
48 or 9 right now, something like that.
Nice.
And between hours 42 and 46-ish, where we know that it's normally very annoying,
It's
I wasn't
annoying.
annoyed.
It is annoying.
That freaked me out. But I was busy. Between those hours, I was really busy.
Yeah.
But it's
So
amazing how annoying that can be, even when you're busy.
I was surprised that I was not annoyed.
Mhm.
It kind
Good.
of
What are
freaked
you
me out.
drinking?
What?
What are you
Doing
drinking?
that time.
Gin and tonic.
Yeah.
What else are you drinking? Not Tammie.
Not Tammie.
My coffee with salt. This is decaf.
Okay.
And I keep I keep a big mason, it's a huge mason jar in the refrigerator with ice in it, ice and water, and I also have the soda stream. The soda stream.
Oh man.
Never forget the day that I got my first soda stream. It was at Tammie's house. Oh my gosh, quenches your thirst almost immediately and it fills your stomach up.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good
And
about
it
soda
feels
stream.
like you have a treat.
Anything
It's a
that's car
treat.
don't buy the carbonated stuff. Get the soda stream and carbonate it yourself or whatever system you get. Just
It's
phenomenally different.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm always drinking. I rarely drink anything else.
Yep.
Very rare. Coffee or plain water or carbonated water.
I love it. I love it. And just
And
know that Soda
and,
Stream, that one we have is over on our Amazon storefront if anybody needs that too.
Yeah.
and the blood sugar, I don't normally check it while I'm fasting. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I checked it just before I came on here. 65 blood sugar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And if just so everybody knows, when Kevin first started, what was your glucose was running? Weren't you in the
300.
300s?
No, they weren't. They really, because I was on so much medicine.
Oh,
Oh, that's
And
right.
my blood pressure on, I don't know. But I would cheat the system because I knew how to cheat the system when I would go get my blood sugar taken, and I was somewhere 120 to 130 all the time.
he
Never
had
a
some rough
90,
numbers. I
never
do
a
remember.
105, 120 to 130 because I knew how to fast to get a better blood sugar.
Yeah.
At least it worked for me. Doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for me. But my A1C was the problem. It was probably 7.5, 8 most of the time, somewhere around in there. And now it's normally somewhere around 5. So, I mean, I was a good fat guy. I never really ate a whole bunch of really super bad food other than the fact that, the carbs, and I didn't eat as much processed food as you would think, but it's all bad. But anyway, I just want to say that about the fasting. I just felt compelled to fast.
Good.
And
And
I
I
feel more
love that we can
gooder.
use that as a tool. That is always the backup tool. Once that chemistry is correct, that is the tool that you can whip out of the toolbox. It takes care of a multitude of sins. So when you have date night and you go out a little too long, or you're having company over that you're going to have to eat a little bit late, whatever, things like that. You have a birthday dinner, a celebration, something, anything like that. You can always, once that chemistry is right and you're there, you can pull out that fasting and whip it out and shoot some cleanup really quick. That's the beauty of learning how to do that. Everybody out thinks
Yeah,
we're crazy when we start fasting, and it's the
and yeah,
best.
and
Yep.
Lisa and Keith, once you start fasting, um, most people that are dedicated to this, like I think you are, fasting is easy.
We've
It
already done
genuinely is
it.
easy.
I mean, we're not new to 72-hour fast. We've done
No,
several of them.
So I don't want you
but
doing it till we get your chemistry right.
Understood.
No, we
Yeah.
had the other version of
Right.
72-hour fast. It's like, let's eat, let's get it.
You'll do that
Right.
you'll do that a couple times, that victory meal, and you'll figure out that I just shot everything I just did right down the toilet.
So
Right.
Keith has a break your fast song. You sing the break your fast song.
Whoa, it's time to eat. It's time to eat.
Yes, sir, buddy. That used to be mine.
Yeah.
That used to be mine too.
My
Lance comes
God.
bouncing up the steps on that third day, and he'll come bouncing up the steps
You
into
do
the
that
house.
last 45 minutes, boy.
Do just a countdown.
So peeking around in the kitchen, I don't smell anything yet,
I always try when we break our 72, I always wait till he comes home to eat with him on that. And he'll walk in the door and I try to have everything literally where he walks in and sits down at the table. And it's just fun because I'll be texting. He's like, is the steak on the grill? Turn the grill, is the grill on? It's like, is the steak on? Yep, it's ready. Okay, it's on your plate. Come on, get up here.
Oh my gosh, my prayer partner was trying to make us a little plaque to go in the house that says, "Oh, it's time to eat." He would get so tickled when Keith would sing that song.
We're gonna have to get a recording meme of that.
Yes.
That would be cool. I love it.
Oh my goodness.
Leah, it is so nice to see you over on YouTube. I'm glad you're checking in. Come on in and you can do this, get back on track with us and everything. So it's great to see you over there, Leah. Love how others are. She's saying she loves hearing how others are doing and the creative suggestions of planning. Planning is key. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a little outing with the kids. I don't care if it's a big family dinner. I don't care if it's date night. Planning it. Most restaurants you can bring up on your phone and bring up the menu. Don't go into a restaurant blindsided. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster when you open that menu. Know what you're getting before you ever walk in a door. Keep it easy. Like when we go to Roadhouse or Longhorn or anything like that, it's 2 ribeyes, 2 Caesar salads, 2 club sodas. Do not put the bread on my table. Period. And it's like, but when you go in and keep it that simple, you take the focus off the food. You don't need to look at the menu. That's going to make you want to question every decision you're making. So it's just keep it easy and enjoy it. And then it becomes about the date night and not about the stressing over the food or, oh my gosh, should I have this or shouldn't I have that? Those kind of things just really do help. And again, when we learn to take the focus off of the food and put the focus on the people around the table, that's where the blessings really come in. I mean, that's truly what it makes you slow down and enjoy what it's supposed to be enjoyed. Our dopamine should not come from food 15 times a week. I mean, that's not what it was meant to be. Food is our nourishment. Yes. Do we go and enjoy a meal? Yes, but it is not every day of the week we're looking for dopamine. That is where I think eating disorders come from, where we're turning to food for everything, for our best friend, for our coping skills, for upset, we're tired, we're lonely, we're lost. Food is everything. And instead of that, learning how to have relationships again and doing things that is not food feeding everything. So it's just a neat little lesson. Come on in, Diana.
Okay, I'm trying to think, okay, what restaurants I've got. Longhorn, Outback, Texas Roadhouse. Out of those 3, which one's the best?
We do all 3 of those. Those are our 3 main ones that we can do too. Same thing at all 3 of them. Ribeye, Caesar salad, club sodas. No, Longhorn, do be mindful. Longhorn pours a liquid oil over top of their steak that helps spread their seasoning out. Nobody can give me the answer for what that oil is, and my guess is it's probably some concoction of something yucky.
Yeah.
So that would be the only one.
You can always
But you
ask
can-
them
yes.
to cook your steak in butter.
Yeah.
Not butter
and-
sauce,
and
not
not
butter
pour the-
oil, just plain butter.
Yep. And ask them to not pour, if you're at Longhorn, ask them not to pour that
Crappy crap.
stuff. Just
I don't know,
bring-
I'm bringing my nephew home Friday, and he's already said, I want a steak. Hey, where are we going?
time for
I would
date
say
night
I would
too.
put them in order of Longhorn has the better steak quality.
That's what I was thinking. but-
Roadhouse is a close second because we used to get their hand cut selection, which was a little different than your menu selection, but they've gone away from a little bit of that. They got a little less selection in the hand cut. But both that outlaw ribeye at Longhorn and then like a nice 20 ounce at Texas Roadhouse. Those 2 right there are hard to beat.
I think I might just put it on the grill here at home too. I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
Now I will say the filet at Outback is really good.
But you gotta add lots of fat to that one.
Oh, and there's one more place too. We throw out a little bit of bonefish too.
Oh yes.
Bonefish has a really good filet and
Surf and turf.
filet with a lobster tail, and it's just really nice.
Yeah,
but then
well,
you gotta
that's
get the bang
a
bang
little
shrimp.
farther away, but
Yeah.
And we tried the bang bang, the gluten-free bang bang. It was disappointing.
Was it?
Was it?
Yeah, because
Would
they grill it, but it's not. I mean,
It's not the bang bang shrimp, is
it
it?
is. My expectations were way too high on that one.
when we have our splurge meal or our celebration meal, we go get the bang bang shrimp and we eat the normal bang bang shrimp.
Yeah,
It's good.
We have a surf and turf and bang bang shrimp. That's good stuff.
Like
yeah.
good stuff. Any questions over on YouTube?
Nope.
Yeah, we still got a few over there. If anybody has any questions, write them in.
I'm sorry, it's been like a food one
Right?
this evening. I mean,
We
get
love those.
everybody hungry,
For
but
Kevin's fasted.
yeah,
Oh, great for
we're
Kevin
talking
for
about
sure.
Every bit of
smoking
food.
meat and everything else. So
sorry, not Tammy.
What's that?
not Tammy.
Sorry, not Tammy.
Sorry, not
Talking
Tammy.
to Kevin, actually. Not Tammy.
He's
That's
not
good.
Let me
Tammy.
throw it
All right,
out
not
now.
Tammy.
If anybody has any questions, I know. Just remember, Hack Your Health is still coming up in November.
Yep.
If you want to use our code from that one, it will save you $100 going in on your ticket. It's JTK. That will be over on the website promoting that. Our merch store is now open.
Woohoo!
Our coffee, ketones, and Christ shirts are there. And our eat the meat, add the fat, cut the shit ones are over there. So those ones are both over on the merch store. What else we got going on? I don't know.
Not a whole lot other than
I
that.
don't know.
Sounds like enough.
Right? We're dealing with family and trying to keep our heads above water, so we will stay at it. And if anybody does need anything, most of you have my phone number. Text me if I'm missing anything. Please let me know. Everybody can still get in beginner and intermediate classes, so just jump in. You can go over to the website journeytoketo.com, go into work with me, and get into the group coaching if you want to come in and join the meetings and be in there. And we meet on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the paid coaching. And then Wednesday nights will be the free support group here for the summer. So that is hopefully going to do it. And that's going to leave us some days for boating.
Boat season.
So, Lance will be happy as soon as we can
Yes.
get that boat in the water.
There you go.
Talk to Mother Nature.
Right?
Right? I'm not gonna keep my tongue. I know, Kevin.
Yep.
The pool. Pool is open.
All right. We will be
Nice.
We're all going to show up at Kevin. Okay, we'll go swimming at Kevin's. We're coming to have some more smoke stuff at my house, and we're heading to Lisa's for
more smoke
for more
stuff.
smoked
More
meat.
smoke stuff.
Diana's, we're
boat
going to hang
down-
it for you. We will make our rounds, but just know we're here, guys. We are loving that being with everybody. Go over in that group, check in. We will be able to check in now. Things are starting to slow down a little bit with everything, but we appreciate everybody. Be over in the big group. We will
Yep.
meet everybody over there during the weeks, and we will be sharing our summer with you coming up. So
Thanks,
summer's
guys.
underway. We're getting there. So